Hey, everybody. Welcome to Text Request Talks, where we have conversations with business leaders about how they make things happen. Presented by Text Request, the business text messaging platform that lets you text from your office phone numbers directly on your computer or any other device so you can stop making phone calls and start actually getting responses. Learn more at textrequest.com. I'm Kenneth Burke, and today we're talking with Don Pfannenstiel, who is a digital marketing consultant particularly in the franchise space, and has done a lot of work with franchising and other companies and industries throughout a career. So, Don, thank you for your time here.
Great. Thank you for having me.
So, let's just kick it off fairly easy. What are you doing these days? What gets you excited?
Yeah. So these days I am, just like you said, doing marketing consultant. I started a digital marketing agency that focuses on small businesses, typically the franchising space, like you had said. And we kind of help guide and assist in their growing needs in the digital marketing and administrative efforts. So we do a lot of SMS marketing, SMM, VA, even, kind of what started me into that was I wanted to semi-retire in 2020. And so I did. And then I sold my franchises in 2021 and just really, working in my business, knowing that there was a need there, small business owners, we wear so many hats and, we're trying to do all the things. And sometimes we do them really well and sometimes we fail at them. So depending on the, season of our life. And so I saw that there was a need. And so I enrolled in at K-State University and got a certification in digital marketing and started my agency in 22. So been doing that ever since and just love helping small businesses kind of be the hero in their own stories and help them get to the next level of where they want to be.
You mentioned you wanted to semi-retire. Is going into consulting really kind of that direction, or is it
I,
more?
I did. I obviously did not semi. Well, I kind of semi-retired, I guess. But the answer is no. But I'm just not one of those people who can kind of sit, and I realized that very quickly. I guess really what probably would be more accurate is I just wanted a break. I just needed to take a break. And that's what I did. So now back at it. I don't work as hard or as much as I used to. So I guess I kind of did. But yeah, now I'm just, trying to, enjoy life, before, you raise your kids and, you do all the things and then, you work to, provide for them and for your family's needs and all that. And so now I'm kind of at that stage in my life where I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna, enjoy life, and kind of stop and smell the roses, I guess, how cliche that may be, but that's what I'm trying to do.
I love that for you. So before you got into this, you were a franchise owner for Just Between Friends, but you also worked in the corporate office for the brand as well. Is that correct?
I did. Yep. Yeah, for 10 years. So I owned my franchises for 17 years and then I worked in the corporate office for 10. Yeah. And
Okay.
my team was responsible for training and supporting all franchisees that came to the system. So, we onboarded them, we exited them, and everything in the middle. And for the audience who's not familiar with Just Between Friends, it's a semi-annual pop-up consignment marketplace. So the events are only held twice a year. So the owners only have 2 times a year to make their money, so it's super important to, get it right, so we try to help them do that.
Are those JBF locations or owners still largely your clients today?
Yes. And I also work with another franchise system called Vintage Market Days, which consequently it's almost the same model. It's just a different product, different industry. So they've been in franchising for about 10 years and they're semi-annual, they're pop-up. It's all, kind of the same thing, just clientele is a little bit different.
How do you handle the seasonality of that, especially on the agency side now where you're helping multiple of these locations? Does everything kind of hit at once? Does it stagger throughout the year? Tell me about that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great question. It does kind of all hit at once. With JBF and VMD being they're both across the US. So we have East Coast, West Coast. So the weather and geographic location play a role into that. So there are events that happen, every month. like the events in Arizona can happen in, January and February because, it's not, freezing and they're able to, hold events at that point. But then it does, there is a season, it does ramp up, we're talking in March, April, May, and then, doing it, July, August, September, even to October. So my team is crazy. Well, and our clients have kind of maybe like an 8-week, 12-week runway. So we do, it's not like we start, the day before the event. We do have to lead up into that. So it does, you definitely see the trend and the trickle coming in, but predominantly it happens kind of all within a 2-month time frame.
What do you do to make sure that the event is big enough and successful enough that it actually does carry for 6 months or a year?
Yeah. We it depends on what the owner needs, and what they're looking for. We have a set of, basic scope of services. But I always tell them, like, I do different things for different clients. Some of them may not be as extensive as, what I do the other ones. And some of them don't even have anything to do with digital marketing, actually. We, like I said, we offer administrative services as well. So it I really try to work well with them and find out what their needs are and their goals are, and then we can kind of adapt, with the qualities and skill set that my staff has, and then we can kind of provide them on what they need to kind of help them get to that level and get to that big in order to support that. Any other company, that's going on these days, budget plays a big role into that. And that's not even, payment for our services. That's, what can they afford to do? What can they afford, to market in the space? And, a lot of times it's, you can't afford not to, so, we run into that too, but, so working with them, working with their goals, and then obviously, trying to, get a great ROI for them.
Sure. For these events, you're having to find sellers and buyers. Is that correct?
For JBF, yes. For
Okay.
VMD, we're just looking for customers, shoppers. It's more of a vendor booth kind of space. So they have most of them have a good inventory of vendors that want to participate in their events, and those vendors travel. So they kind of hit all the sales in a certain region of the U.S. and stuff. But yeah, for JBF, we're looking for sellers and shoppers. So it's a dual effort at that point.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to run a marketplace model like that. Are
Yeah.
there any particular channels or strategies that work to get people to show up day of?
Um, we used to say, it's not over till it's over. And, most of the JBF events as well as VMD, they're a couple days long, so, there are 4 or 5, 6 days, depending on the size of the event. And oh, they're the kind of, honestly, Facebook Lives have been, when we're talking about, week of, right, I don't believe you can over communicate, so doing your email marketing. We do, implement SMS marketing. We kind of do 2 to 3 texts a week, one like, it's coming, it's here, and last chance kind of thing. So we do those channels as well. But I think I'm a visual learner, and so therefore I assume everyone else is too. But kind of giving your customers and your audience the visual aspect of what the event looks like. So we want to touch it and feel it and kind of see it. And so anytime we can do video or live streaming on any platform, it's been really helpful. Kind of day of or week of what's going on. So that's kind of a good one. But a lot of people don't like to do that. They like to be in front of the camera, hear their own voice. So they have to get past that. Oh.
It's amazing too for that last point. It's amazing how many people feel that way, myself included. I hate listening to the playback that I'm going
Yeah,
to after this. But it's also really interesting to me that no one else cares.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
only you. And so if you can just get through that and put yourself out there a little bit, it's almost all upside.
Exactly. I know when I used to do them, I would feel like a used car salesman, come on down, we're open from da 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 da, and I felt like I sounded so ridiculous, but it worked. And sometimes it's what's needed to, kind of, show that excitement and get people in the door.
Same vein for us at Text Request. Whenever we were a much younger startup, so
Mhm.
this would have been, I don't know, 5 6 years ago. Um, I remember we just took our phones out and we had a lapel mic that was uber cheap, and we just recorded our CEO co-founder, Brian, just doing
Yep.
30-second quick pitches. So we would take an industry, he would say, hey, you need to be able to do X, Y, and Z in your industry. We can help you do that. Check us out, grab a demo. And it was, I mean, very simple, low budget, just professional enough.
Yeah.
But something so simple just gave people a face to pay attention to, and it did direct them in the right direct, the right way to go. And they would book a demo, and
Yeah.
it was surprisingly effective for something so simple.
Yeah, it's funny. I think a lot of people, me included, they, gosh, life is so busy, and like I said earlier, we all wear so many hats, not even just in the business space, but, in our personal lives too. We're either moms or wives or, daughters and sisters and all the things that we are. And, I mean, I'm guilty. I just, tell me where and when to be, tell me what to do. And, I can do it, sometimes I don't want that, I don't want to have to think about it. I just, I will trust in, your expertise that this is what I need. This is the right thing to do, whether it's personally and professionally, and I'll just do it. I was horrible about, attending my son's, baseball games. I'm like, just okay, tell me when and where, and I will be there, and I'll be your biggest supporter and cheerleader. But I just tell me when to be there. So I think, back to your point, a lot of business owners just they don't, they don't either have the headspace to think about that, or they're going to trust in the expert who's giving them that advice and just do it. And I think that's great. And a lot of us, I think, need that sometimes.
I think a good lesson too for those who aren't in pure leadership roles or top of the top roles is it's okay to manage up sometimes, to say,
Mhm.
hey, can we agree this is a good thing to do? I'll coordinate your schedule for you. I'll give you everything you need to make it happen. I just need you to, do steps 1 2 and 3 for me.
Absolutely
um,
right.
I know we've seen that go really well. Exactly the kind of thing you were just saying, where those videos, for example, Brian would say, just tell me what to do, what to say, and we'll make it work.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, I do, and we do a lot of that for our clients as well. We're like, we can do, X, Y, and Z for you. We'll take it off your plate, and that's kind of why we got into the administrative side of things, is because we were finding that so many of our clients and small business owners are still today working in their business instead of on their business, and I mean, again, when you're seasonal, it's hard not to do that. A lot of my clients have, jobs outside of the home and even outside of owning their own business. And so, we're here to alleviate that stress and that pressure, and, try to, make things easier on you so you can focus on the things that you really need to focus on, and we can grow it, together. We can assist in your growth in that. And so, and we've been, really successful, which is, we're super blessed about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Obviously, you're incredible, but you also don't work alone. So I'm curious, how do you go about finding good people to work with, either to partner with or to hire? What do you look for?
Yeah, so that is a great question. My team we are spanned across the US. So we're East Coast and we are Pacific. So, right now, there's a 3 hour time difference with that. And so it's important to me to, hire somebody who is, dedicated, and who is a self starter and a self motivator. I personally don't like to be micromanaged, so I don't micromanage. We assign tasks, and then, here's the deadline. Do what you need to do. I don't care if you work on it, 3 in the morning, or, at 6 in the morning. Don't call me if it's 6 in the morning though. But I mean, we kind of give them that freedom. So somebody who can work independently, and then also, somebody who is inclusive. I think the best way to learn is ask some questions, and especially in, our space, and with as many years of experience in franchising as that me and my team have, I wish I could just brain dump everything in my brain, of what I've learned in franchising over the past, 17 to 20 years. But I can't. But I just love to share. And I think a lot of people do. And like I said earlier, not only for my clients to be the heroes in their own story, but for my team too. And I think that's what a good leader does is they recognize their staff or their team members or whoever they're working with. Even if it's a vendor, and they're able to kind of coach them up or coach alongside them and really help them, hone in on their own skill set and their traits for them to, move on and better themselves. So I think, yeah, asking questions and just kind of recognizing, where that extra push needs to come in at.
How do you determine what you can delegate and what is something that you need to keep for your own to-do list?
Oh man. Well, I used to try to do it all and I failed that miserably. I think as we all did, right? Or we all do maybe sometimes. So one thing that we did, it was probably Q2 of last year is the first thing I did was got a COO, and it's one of my friends. It's a fellow franchisee. She's a multi-unit owner, and she just loves like project management and streamlining processes. I mean, that's really where her strength is. And so she just was helping me kind of limp along, really. And I was like, look, like I cannot do this without you. You're phenomenal, and I really appreciate everything that you're doing for me. Please just do it. And so she agreed. Thank goodness. So we kind of went with a system that really started streamlining our processes internally. And sometimes you have to, growth doesn't always mean dollars and numbers. Growth also means growing your business or becoming a better, leader or, growing stronger within your company so you can handle and you can scale up the growth that you're going to bring in on your business side of things. So that's kind of what we did with that. And it's worked great. We started out and we were doing all the free trials, right? Or other free versions of invoicing, for example, of all these things. And, we went through four invoicing systems before we really were like, okay, even when we would pay the, inexpensive, $16 a month or whatever it was, like we were like, this is still not working for us, so trial and error. But it was good that we failed at those other ones because then, we graduated to what we needed and what we found. And so now it submits our proposals, signs our contracts, and automatically generates an invoice. So we implemented that. And then the next thing we did was Q4 was that we implemented a project management platform, which is my staff is just raving about. And so it just goes back to the skill sets and the traits of me when I'm hiring people. They can work independently, they get their tasks assigned to them, they know what the deadline is, they know what they need to do, they can ask questions if they need to, and it's amazing that. And so we're able to get so much more done now and really deliver that great customer service, that our clients expect and that we want to deliver to them. So.
You mentioned growth isn't always in dollars and numbers, sometimes personal development, leadership, improvement. And I'm curious, where do you go to learn, to still learn, or to keep improving? Or I guess what effort do you put into that? What works for you at this stage?
Yeah. So to be 100% honest, I hate to read. And I've several books, obviously that I've read and some good ones, but I am, I subscribe to some e-newsletters, and then honestly podcasts. I love kind of the short clips. So, the 2-minute reads or the 5-minute reads, or, even an hour-long podcast if I'm, working out or, going for a walk or whatever I'm doing, that I can listen to and kind of, learn that at the same time. So, some that I would recommend are like, Shep Hyken is more on customer service. He has an e-newsletter. Jay Bear as well. He has an e-newsletter. He was from Indiana, by the way, from Bloomington. And John Francis in the franchising space, he also does an e-newsletter. Those three, anytime I get a newsletter or an email from them, I definitely open them up. But as far as podcasts go, I love ones that have, a diverse library. And so Donald Miller, Business Made Simple, that I really enjoy those. I mean, he has all kinds of, great hosts that come on and guests and stuff. So I think that's kind of my go-to. The quick in and out, I can get my gold nuggets, and then I can either implement them or, save them for later.
We'll see if this works out to be a great ending question. What's one thing you've learned about yourself that has helped you become a better business leader?
Oh man. I think, man, that's a really good question. Um, Honestly, I am good with people. And I had my team take a personality test. It was free. We all love this free trials, right? It's called 16 personalities. And so we took that, and it was interesting to see where everybody fell, and kind of what they looked. But my strength was people mastery. And so I think that the one thing that I have learned and that's helped me is two things, I guess, really. One is to accept failure. It doesn't always have to be negative. I think failure allows us just to learn a new way of not doing something. And, I think within that, the hidden message in that is, are you able to pick yourself up and keep moving? Or are you going to let that kill you and kill your momentum? One thing I used to say to my children all the time was, don't let fear take away from your joy. So the fear of the unknown, I think, is what hinders a lot of people in either their growth, personally or professionally, and, what they're going to do for the next step. So I think that would be kind of a good, that would be my mantra, I guess, is don't let fear take away your joy. And the other thing is that I think the thing that's really helped me is understanding the people that I associate myself with. So whether that's my team, my clients, my friends, whoever it may be, and just really understand them and where they're at in each stage of their own lives, and just kind of respect that. So offering respect and grace, and accepting where they're at. It may be different places than where I'm at, but I can understand where they're coming from and have to respect the space that they're in, and just kind of keep that perspective, and not always think that it's my way or the highway. And that was helpful to me in not only being a parent, but also growing the business and understanding our clients' needs, because everybody has different needs, and everyone's at different chapters of their book of life, throughout every day. And so just kind of understanding people really helped me become a better leader, and knowing that not everyone's on the same page, not everyone has to agree with me, not everyone has to think like I do. But for me to be the best that I can be, I need to respect where they're at.